Good morning, traders, and welcome to Flow with the Markets Tuesday. It's Iliya here, and I'm very happy to welcome you on this Tuesday update. It is pretty raw, as I keep saying. I just jump on the chart, start analyzing them as I do every single day, so you can actually get an insight into how I adapt to the markets. And of course, this week we have a great proof that what we analyze on Saturday, on Sunday, the market just opens and does something completely different. So definitely we have to learn how to adapt, right? Great examples this week, massive pushes already starting on Monday, Tuesday already giving us that continuation vibe. So of course, let's see what we can do. This week, I'm probably not going to be trading. I traveled 900 kilometers the other day, and my family recently bought a house in Italy, so I'm right now helping them move out. And you know how moving houses is like, right? It's pretty chaotic. I'm also getting a little bit of sick, probably because of going too many places, too many things. But yeah, it's not a big deal. But probably I'm not gonna be actively engaging in the market this week. And just looking at how Monday and Tuesday opens, it looks pretty tricky. So I'm not sure how many textbook setups are we gonna get. In terms of the economic calendar, we don't have like something very important today. We have some S&P global PMIs, right? So make sure to check them out. We have a speech from the Fed. There was a time that we had, let me actually check it out for you guys. Yeah, today there is those S&P global PMI. I'm not sure what S&P global and CIPS stands for. I have to examine this. Speech from the ECB, consumer confidence rider for the euro. But yeah, I'm not sure how important those are, but yeah, definitely PMI. It's important nowadays for inflation. Wednesday looks pretty dead. London session is nothing, right? So quite strange. But we know that when there are no news, this is when the moves happen. I don't know why. But yes, then we have home sales, capital good orders, durable good orders. Those seem to be important right here. Thursday, we have jobless claims right there. GDP, very important. Jobless claims once again, right? And then we have this Jackson Hole Symposium, which I am about to explore what exactly it means and what exactly happens on this event, right? And then on Friday, I think we had the same symposium combined with Mr. Powell's speech. And then we also have some personal spending, personal income. So a lot of USD news, to consider. Of course, there was that symposium again. It's like 3 days in a row. Very interested. I'm gonna actually have a look what that is. But yes, on to the Dixie, guys. So we open and we just start pumping into the highs. Again, I was projecting some sort of pullbacks, but nope. The market actually closed extended. And I was telling you how hard it is usually to trade such extended markets because you don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to keep pushing higher? Is it going to give you a pullback? Is it just going to, for example, range a little bit and then initiate higher, or range a little bit and then initiate lower, right? Many outcomes. But what we have right now is just a pump, right? The market is just pumping higher, and I don't think it's gonna stop until we break this high, which is going to happen probably on London Open, right? We have 30 minutes, so we're just heading towards this level. We just have like 10 pips towards it, so I just think this one is being taken, okay? So what happens usually when we take such a high, because guys, this is like a very major high, right? This is a daily high, a weekly high, right? And usually when the market takes out such a high, there is a high chance of the market actually reversing, or not reversing, but initiating a pullback, okay? But of course, there is a big chance that the market is going to drive above this high. Like it can drive like 30 pips, it can drive 50 pips, it can drive 100 pips above it, and then potentially start initiating the pullback. Okay, so once again, guys, there is no clear setup. Like if the market breaks above this high, then according to my plan, if I have taken just a fresh high right there on the left and it's a major one, I would avoid like taking continuations too much, because then we have a very high chance of actually forming that pullback, of actually stopping and initiating a pullback, right? If it's a trade like on the way towards the high, then definitely yes, right? But after we take a major high, then I'm getting a bit skeptical. But of course, this is going to be our only opportunity. If we ignore this break of the high, right, and right now we have a high, then of course if we pull back towards this newly formed demand level, we had like a few slowdown candles, we have the sell, then a very big buy right now. If we pull back towards this level, then potentially I will be looking for a continuation long, okay, with the overall momentum. But of course, guys, as I keep telling you, all the scenarios, beware after we take out this high. Have a look at how the market develops, and of course wait. If you actually want to go short, wait for the 4 hourly to shift, right? Because currently your higher low on the 4 hourly is this one. So in order for you to start taking high probability shorts, you need to see this one broken, right? And then to see a lower high like this. Okay, so I am long biased on the Dixie. It looks pretty bullish. The sentiment looks pretty bullish, so I keep longing until I'm wrong. Okay, so let's examine how today this high gets broken, hopefully, and then to see if we're either gonna have a continuation to the upside or if we're gonna have like a nice reversal, then to potentially start taking some shorts. Right, I'm very curious. Looking at how the markets opened very aggressively to the upside, it could either be just a massive continuation week or it could be a manipulation into the high, so take out the high and then to potentially launch to the downside. I don't know, right? Nobody knows. So as you can see, EU is already crushing the targets, is already smashing everything and trading with massive momentum, and it's already below this low, right? Dixie, it's still traveling towards it. EU is already breaking. Broke below parity quite some time ago, and it's already trading at 0.99, right? So guys, we moved 100 pips yesterday, or just for a little bit of time, right? Yep, my analysis was looking for deep pullbacks. So well, bro, good luck waiting for those pullbacks. The market just opened and it just dumped, right? Which makes it, guys, very hard to actually trade, right? We had this supply, the market never came back, right? This was a fresh supply that was created. This one was another one that I had marked on Monday. We broke below just one candle. That is an inside bar. It didn't even pull back and it just massively exploding lower towards the potential targets. Okay, so what we have right now is same story. Like, we have a little bit of slowdown during Asia, massive impulse to the downside. Well, are we gonna have a pullback right now? I don't know, right? I don't know. Massive impulse into the downside is happening right now. So yeah, the only thing I can say, guys, is wait, right? If you have some sort of a trend following strategy on the 1 minute with breaking the lows, I just don't do those things again. And not every day is a trading day. I'm just very patient right now. Also because I'm not in the zone and I'm not really rushing to take any trades. I don't even have the need to trade right now. But I'm just patient because I have an alert set up right there. So I'm not sure if it's gonna get tapped. But yes, I will eventually be looking for this setup, or what the market does tends to do sometimes, guys, is it pulls back a little bit, creates a range, initiates outside of the range, right? So then you have this supply, but you have a brand new formed right there. Okay, so then I can trade from a level like this. Okay? If the market doesn't tap inside this guy and creates a new pullback and then breaks structure, I'm gonna trade from the most recent zone. Okay, so massive break right now. Let's see. I do think EU is gonna initiate the bullish pullback after the DXY takes out the high. So let's see how this one is gonna work. But again, guys, no setup for now. It's just dumping, and if you're not short, then it's a bit hard, right? It's a bit hard. But currently, I'm just short bias on the EU until I'm wrong. Okay, everything is telling me shorts. Euro yen, it's probably, yeah, it's giving us that short bias right now just because the euro just dumped, right? This one tried, kind of tapped into demand, tried to respond, right? But then we just broke. Okay, and what did I tell you? We only short if we break below this low. So there we go. Okay, we have a break below the low. We had this supply. Man, my voice is also gone. Definitely sick. We have this area right there. We have this little guy right there, right? The break of structure is right here. We can potentially expect a reaction point right there, right? But it's just a reaction. It's not a reversal long. It's just a reaction. So pretty much drawing these levels right there and adapting to the market, which is currently bearish, I will be looking for a pullback. Okay, so yeah, the market is right now massively impulsing. So you can do two things. You can either just stick to that 4-hourly zone, or you can start dropping new 50-minute zones, right? The probability is lower, but you at least can get some trades. So there is your 50-minute zone, for example, the most recent one. If the market pulls back right there, then drop to the 1 minute and wait for an entry setup, right? So there is your zone. Wait for the market to come back and then short it from there. If this fails, right? If this comes in, reacts, and then fails, then you're potentially going to see a tap into the highs. And then you have to wait for a new structure shift in order for the market to reverse again, right? So that's my EJ outlook, right? Two scenarios. I'm looking for shorts because, again, as I told you in the weekly outlook, if we break below this higher low, I will be looking for shorts. And then potentially this one was a decision point, so it got tapped, right? Responded, and the market tried to push, failed. So right now I do think if the market is going to go lower, then this could be a potential target. Okay, so I'm shorting until we reach this demand zone, or until we actually break below this line right there. Okay, Aussie dollar developed actually nicely, right? So what I told you about here is that we had those flat highs, right there. So look at that, the last high of those flat highs formations was taken out beautifully, right? And pretty much if we had like a bigger supply and demand zone, because this supply zone is this actually, this whole buy and then the sell off, right? So within this zone we have these flat highs, they got taken, right? So the market actually retested something that we can base a short from. This is why I don't like I know a lot of guys like just do this baby, like keep the zones too small. That's fine, right? That's fine, but sometimes having a bigger zone, oftentimes having a bigger zone is actually better, right? So right now we continue, we break structure again. This was supply, it looks like it got tapped, and right now we have this little supply, which again is too little, so we can take like part of the previous bullish candle. So yes, there's my AU analysis. Right now we're tapping inside this, what is this? Is a weekly zone? Yeah, right now we're tapping inside this weekly zone. But again, yeah, this weekly zone is way too big, right? So right now we have potentially this little demand right there on the 4H that we can target. And that if this fails, then we have another one just right there. Okay, yep. So those are two zones that I can be potentially targeting, but I am just short bias, just looking at the Dixie, looking at the momentum. I am short bias, but again, what I can tell you, well, if you weren't awake during Asia, you don't get your short. Yesterday, shorts were kind of tricky. There wasn't a trading setup for me personally, guys. Like, there's that push. I would personally trade after the break of this structure, right? So technically my setup is right here, but this was Asian session, so no trading setup for me. Massive impulse right now, so what I can say is wait for the pullback. Okay, wait for the structure to break, wait for the pullback right now, then go to a lower time frame, catch your short and ride it towards the lows. Okay, and again, if the market actually dips too deep inside the zone, then of course you can start also looking for longs towards the upside. Again, guys, many outcomes. The market is just pushing, so you have to let it go. And please don't try to catch a falling knife right now. Don't try to find the bottom. It's much better to actually keep shorting until you really see you're wrong and now the market has actually reversed higher. Okay. AJ, nice delivery so far. So I was looking for that quick retest, but I was doubting this one because the structure looked pretty bullish. Like we had this push, pullback. So right now we have a high, which is great. And we also have this little bit of demand zone right there. So if this breaks, then definitely we kick in the shorts. But I like this 1, 2, 3 drives into the highs, right into the supply area. And just right now we're rejecting. Okay. So yes, if we break below the zone that I indicated right now, then we're potentially going to have this as new supply. So then I will be looking for something like this. Okay, so short bias on AJ. And just looking at the JPY vibe, looks like it's actually reversing. If I just quickly go out of curiosity to check UJ, well, yeah, UJ is bullish. It's breaking above this supply, right? So it didn't respect it at all. It's traveling towards the upper one. So if this guy should soon create a high because it's looking a bit extended right there on the 4H, right? Daily is in a push phase, nice push phase. Daily can also use a little pullback. Right, so right now we're taking the liquidity above this high. We have a little bit of liquidity above this high as well. So can we make another leg higher and then reverse? I get a feeling that the Dixie USDGN can give us a bearish move someday this week, right? It definitely needs a pullback. So right now the flow is still bullish, so there it is. So we have a pullback, higher high, our low is currently forming. So I would technically right now, if I was trading UJ, I would be looking for a long. Okay, so I will be dropping right now to the 15-minute and looking for the long, which hasn't set up yet. I just don't like these wick breaks, right? I will be looking for the 15-minute to show me bullish intentions, but I just don't see them right now. It's rather corrective, so I will be looking maybe for another spike, then a big bullishness, then a retest, and then potentially a high. Okay. So I am still bearish on USDN until this high maintains intact. Okay, so then going back to AJ, taking a short on this one with the USDN being still bullish is a little bit risky. Okay, so wait for it, right? Wait for the USDN to go down and then start striking. NZUSD kind of, yeah. It also gave us a pullback. It also made a new lower low. So technically it's great, but we can see that my lines are way too big for how the market developed. But same zones kind of remain. I don't think that these upper ones are relevant. We have this break of structure right there with the wick. The market already went in and retested. So we can potentially right now be expecting a new lower low. which is gonna be right here, and we're already on the way, right? So if you were awake during Asian session, then probably your opportunity could be right there. This looks super flat, can get taken out, but I don't think it's gonna come in, take it out, and then reverse. We're just so close to take out the low, right? So I do think it's gonna take out the low, and usually, guys, that is a very tricky part because you don't know what's gonna happen after we take out the lower high, right? So imagine you should be longing right here, then the market comes in, it can take it, right, and it can immediately cause a reversal, right? Or the market can push, pull back, you take your long right there, the market can break it, and it just can expand into the highs, right? So we don't know what's gonna happen, so we have this situation across all pairs right now, which immediately makes Tuesday a non-tradable for me, or at least London session. So this one did not break below that major low that I wanted to see break, right? But it actually retested the supply and it held. It looks like it's impulsing right now with some nice selling pressure. So let's see if we can flow with it, right? It kind of looks bearish. Took out this liquidity right there, took out this high as well, went towards the last high right there. And then potentially, if I was trading this, then I have a setup because there is my high, there is my break of the higher low, there is my retest, lower high right there. But again, Asian session, right? So nice shorts right there if you were trading it. Hopefully somebody caught this one, right? And right now it's breaking lower, so it's going lower, I mean, so probably this could be a nice target. And if this one breaks nicely and forms a structure break, then potentially we can say that we can start looking for shorts like this, okay? UJ, we already explored that it has a high chance of actually pushing once more higher, but we're gonna see if that is the case. It might actually stop right there, looking at how it's starting to distribute a little bit. USD CAD, the USD Swiss franc look pretty bullish. That's normal. GU is just also just open and just dumped, right? And this is one of the scenarios that I had, of course, is a dump below this low, right? But then as you can see, what I expect is a reversal, okay? Because this is usually what happened. But as I just told you in the previous slide, was it NJ, the pair that I explained it? It not always happens, right? Sometimes you can have a break and then the market just going to continue massively dropping to the downside, right? And sometimes you're going to have a reversal. In this case, just looking at price, it looks like we're having a continuation. So we keep following the continuation until you're wrong, right? So there are two zones to right now look for short trades. So pretty much what I'm going to say on GU is I'm looking for something like this without even looking on the left, right? There is nothing on the left right now, so I'm not looking at it, right? 50-minute, just massive drop. So what I'm looking for is, yes, for the market to pull back towards this zone and then short. Nothing more, nothing less, right? Just keeping it simple and looking for those continuation trades until a full hourly structure is broken so that I can say we have a trend change, okay? GJ also showing us that bearish intention in a bullish market, what we identified as a bullish market. So I honestly, guys, I really don't know how to trade GJ right now. So I'm just letting it go, right? I see some longs coming in. I also see the shorts, like the failures to make a new high. We also have all of these lower highs coming from the top. So we also have a lot of short confluences. So, but I just, guys, don't have the structure for shorts right there. I don't know how to take shorts right now, which is why I don't trade this pair. But yes, we have like a supply right there, supply right there, supply. You can see all of these lower highs. So if you're trading like a lower time frame, then I think it's possible. But I'm very curious to see how this zone is going to get respected right there and what's going to happen. If we break below, then we can look for some sort of a short continuation that is going to look something like this. If we hold, then we can take a long, but it's going to be low quality because GU right now is massively bearish, right? And GU has to turn bullish in order for GJ to also give you a bullish move. Okay, so currently again, not very clean. I am waiting on GJ. Euro GBP responding from the second demand that I drew, right? So let's see how it's gonna hold. I'm not trading this one at all. Gold also just dumped, right? No pullback, it just dumps to the downside. Yeah, potentially just going with continuations in gold, right? We can have a little bit of a response. I see a little bit of a daily zone right there. Which could be also a 4-hourly one. Yeah, it's an overall 4-hourly range. The market taps inside. So I'm looking for some sort of a pullback. And again, guys, if you sometimes what happens is that you have situations like this. You have a supply right there, right? Then you look for that supply to tap, but the market just does this and leaves it. Okay, so then trade from this one. This is a brand new one. Trade from it, and if it fails, then trade from the upper one. right? Because oftentimes this one can work, right? Oftentimes this one can work. So what I mean, how we can apply it, let's say that this is a pullback and right now you're looking for this zone, okay? The market does this, break structure below, right? So then you have a brand new supply right there. So trade from it, right? Because it's technically a valid 4-hourly supply zone, right? And if it fails, then you either turn bullish and take a long towards the upper supply zones, or you just wait for a short from a higher zone. Okay, so hopefully this little tip makes sense. But yes, gold, I'm looking for shorts. I just don't have a level right now to short from, so I'm letting it go. Okay, this looks like a zone right there, although it's not the best one. It's not the one that I would usually take, but yes, so nothing to say on gold as well. All the pairs are just extended. The indices are pulling back towards those daily demand zones that I spoke to you about. So I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. I'm just letting it go and just watching, right? US30 tapping into that daily demand. So can we break below it or can we pop up? NASDAQ is actually starting to break it, which is great, right? What I indicated is that I want to see a break of this daily demand before we actually look for shorts. It has happened, okay? But yeah, usually NASDAQ is the more volatile one. It's usually the first index to break something or to make a bigger move. So yes, curious to see if you're going to return back and get a short, right? And S&P is also tapping into demand. I'm going to take it the big zone like this, see how it responds. But yes, yesterday I think we were down 5%. Nice. Well, I might start scaling in a little bit. But yes, looking to see how it's going to respond. If it keeps breaking below, then definitely the sellers are into the market. Cryptos, not much of an update on crypto, just one day of choppiness, right? Right now looks like it's going to continue lower. So yeah, I'm short buys on crypto right now. The momentum looks lower, so make sure to follow it. Okay, so just to wrap it up, guys, just right now I'm expecting the Dixie to break above this 99.30 candle. Right, if we get a pullback before it, then definitely take a long. EU is just massively bearish. I'm looking for a longer pullback, for a deeper pullback, I mean, before I take a short. GU is also super bearish, looking for shorts. AU is also bearish, looking for shorts, although it's currently taking previous daily lows, right, and even previous weekly lows, right? So it's taking a lot of liquidity right now, so we can have, again, what I tell you is that if we take major lows like this, then there is usually a rebound. So be careful, guys. But again, the overall flow is bearish, so I go with the bears. NZUSD hasn't yet broken structure, right? So kind of tricky. USDN can potentially get a new long if the Dixie actually sustains that bullish pressure. GOAT, no trading setup for me. So yeah, definitely Tuesday looks like a skip for me, which is perfectly fine. So yes, guys, remember that not every day and not every week is a trading one. Not everyone is a winning one, right? Not always you're gonna have your best setups. When these pushes start to occur, I'm usually a little bit cut out, right? Because I usually wait for deeper pullbacks to get my high quality trades. And if something like this happens, I just let it go and looking forward for the next week or for the next day. Okay. So guys, be patient, follow your trading plan, don't rush, don't try to catch a falling knife right now with those big pushes. And yeah, I wish you good luck this week. If you have any questions, you know where to find me, and looking forward to chatting with you on Saturday.